Well, hey friends, it's Natalie. So glad you stopped by to hang out with me today. I could use a buddy today. I've got some stuff that I'd like to get done around the house, you know, just homemaker things, just getting some general house work done. And while I do that, I thought that we could have a chat along the way, a bit of a life update. I could share with you what's been going on in the past couple of weeks. Life has been quite topsy-turvy. Grateful to be able to share mundane things like stripping the bed. That's what we're doing first here, as well as deeper, tougher things. I have had several seasons in the last decade where I have had really tough things to share with you guys, and I am finding myself in one of those seasons right now. And so I am preemptively thanking you for the kindness and the support. I want to get the laundry going here, get a kickstart on stuff for the day. It's actually a beautiful sunny day and I intend to enjoy some of this sunshine. So we'll probably get out there at some point. But first I'm gonna strip the bed, give this room a general tidy. I might even set the vacuum to run in here. That would be nice. I feel like nice vacuum lines would add some peace to my brain right now. I'd love to know in the comments right now if there's anything that you can think of that if you got it done, you would feel more at peace. Maybe it's stripping your own bed or getting some laundry started, taking care of the pile of dishes in your sink, or doing a little bit of decluttering. And maybe you'd consider doing something while you watch or listen to this video. It's always nice to be able to work with a friend. We can keep each other company, or maybe you're gonna use this video as an excuse to just sit back and relax and have a moment of peace and rest in your day. I always love to share a balance of productivity with peacefulness, and I hope this video is an encouragement to you. Even though I'm going to be sharing some more tough or not so happy things, I hope that you get a sense that we're all in this together. I know we're all dealing with things in our own lives, and wherever you find yourself today, I just want you to know you're loved, and I'm glad you're here.
Could I believe in what my eyes cannot see? Or has the antidote to brokenness evaded me? Could I believe in what my ears have not heard? Or will the suffering that surrounds me have the final word? Even on the darkest nights I know the sun will rise. I will trust the promise I cannot see with my eyes. Even when the clouds surround, I know the sun still shines. But when will it break through? Jesus, I need you.
Okay. Bedding is started. I realized I can't actually run the vacuum yet. It would be silly because I'd have to do it twice. Because when I remake my bed, that fluffs up some of the feathers from our duvet and I'll just want to vacuum again. So I'll have to forego the premature vacuum lines for now, but I'll get that done a little bit later. It feels good to have that laundry started. For now, I'm going to throw it off to sponsor Natalie because she's going to share with you about the partner for today's video. And side note, I'm just so grateful for the partners that I work with, the brands that I'm able to work with, who have been so gracious and patient as I've been going through this really rough season. They have allowed me to kind of push deadlines out a little bit, and I am just so grateful to them. So grateful to you guys for giving me a place where I can work with partners and sponsors that I really enjoy. I love being able to offer free content on this channel and have them support that, as well as help me help support our family. So I'll see you in 2 minutes. Favorite day of the week, hands down, is when our Factor box arrives with fresh, never frozen meals that have helped fuel our bodies on both our good days and not so good ones recently. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-heat meal kit with chef-crafted and dietitian-approved meals that are seriously so delicious and nutritious. Factor takes the guesswork and actual work out of meal planning and prep because each meal is ready to eat in as little as 2 minutes. So basically for the time it takes to listen to this ad read, thanks by the way for not skipping through, my next Factor meal is hot and ready for me to devour. Just pop it in the microwave or heat it on the stovetop and you've got dinner, lunch, or they even have some great breakfast and brunch options available in a snap. I love how easy it is to make my orders on the Factor website or the mobile app. I get to choose from 35 different meals and 60 add-ons each week, and with that much variety, there's definitely something here for anyone, even if you have dietary or lifestyle requirements like I do. They offer vegan and veggie options, low carb, high protein, and more. And you can customize your order to add in extras, snacks, protein shakes, and even wellness juice shots. Last year, I made it my mission to fuel my mommy muscles by adding in more protein and generally more actual meals into my diet. Coffee and crackers just don't cut it for me anymore. And Factor has been the single most impactful element to me being able to achieve my nutritional and fitness goals. Food is fuel, and Factor gets it right without ever being boring or bland. If you'd like to check out Factor and help support my channel in the process, then head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code NatalieB50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code NatalieB50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month of orders. Thanks so much to Factor for sponsoring that portion of this video. Okay, I'm gonna try to not rock too much on this porch swing and make you guys seasick while you watch the video. And I really wanna be outside right now. I love this sunshine, but I'm actually quite light sensitive. So I'm gonna be wearing my sunglasses, and I apologize. I really do like to make eye contact with you guys, but this is where I find myself. Because after a 20-year hiatus, my ocular migraines have returned. Let me tell you a story of an 11-year-old girl full of life and energy, enjoyed being very active, playing with her friends, playing outside, having fun with her siblings, sing and dance and act in front of people and perform on stage. And all of that came to a screeching halt when one day she suddenly went half blind, started slurring her speech, had weakness and numbness on one side of her body, and her parents thought, our daughter is having a stroke, take her to the emergency room. And I remember at 11 years old, being in an MRI machine, and I was in so much pain. My head was absolutely splitting. I had an IV in my arm, and I was feeling so scared, so incredibly scared, thinking like, am I going to die? What is going on? I can't imagine how scared my parents were feeling. All of that, CT scan, MRI, everything showed up clear. All of my blood work showed up fine. And it was determined at that point that I was dealing with what was called at that time classic migraines. It's probably going to have a different sort of name in different clinics or to different doctors or in different parts of the world. Most recently, the doctors that I have recently spoken with call them complex migraines. And back when I was dealing with these at first, as a preteen, I was going through puberty, lots of changes in my body already, just naturally expected. But this was something that it hit me out of nowhere, and it really did bring my life to a halt because I could no longer function. And I was getting these migraines a couple times a week, several times a week. It got really, really bad for a while. And every time it was the same set of symptoms with blindness, speech slurring, numbing, incoherent thoughts, weakness on one side of my body, and then an absolutely head-splitting headache, which led to vomiting a lot of the time. And anytime I would get these, I would have at least a day wasted. Thankfully, this experience back then only lasted between like 1 and 2 years, but it was the toughest months of my life up until that point. It was really, really awful. And I have often drawn upon my experience back then to compare other bad experiences with chronic pain or chronic illness. And I always that's kind of like my baseline. Like, is this as bad as those horrible migraine episodes that I would have as a kid? Thankfully, through the counsel and treatment of a team of doctors, they went away. Whether it was through the medication or the natural remedies or me just simply growing out of it, I don't know. They went away, seemingly never to return until just a couple months ago. 20 years later, this was back in February, I got another one out of the blue. And I had one of these out of the blue right after Haley was born. But it was at one isolated event. But unfortunately, they have been showing up, and each one has gotten worse and worse. So bad that this most recent one that I had a couple weeks ago, it actually landed me back in the hospital because it just simply was not responding to any of the medications or comfort measures that I can take and get through the migraine. And in fact, instead of just doing one cycle of symptoms, which is typical for me, it follows the same pattern and I can cope and I can get through it even though it's absolutely miserable. This pattern kept repeating for hours upon hours on end, and in one day I actually had what seems to be about 5 or 6, possibly more, migraines back to back to back to back. I've never experienced that before. This was by far the worst episode I have ever had during when I was a kid or any of these more recent times. So my GP advised that I go to the emergency room and actually get evaluated for stroke symptoms because what I was dealing with, the slurring speech, the numbness, the sagging face, the half blind, all of that, it warranted more testing and emergent care. They did CT, MRI, blood work, echocardiogram, and some other stuff. Maybe I was so out of it. Everything came back clear, which I will say right now, I am absolutely grateful for. I am so very grateful that stroke, aneurysm, brain tumor, none of those things showed up on my scans. I have learned through other health issues that I have been through and other chronic illnesses or chronic pain that 2 realities can exist at once. I can be grateful on one hand that none of these horrible, scary, emergent things showed up while I was hospitalized. And I can also be anxious, frustrated, scared, upset, and still in pain with ongoing symptoms, ongoing questions that I still have and I am still dealing with and I'm still working through. And I want that to also be an encouragement to you. I feel like people on the internet participate in Pain Olympics. If you ever open the comments to anything that you see someone suffering, frustrated, going through something that's a negative experience, so many of the comments will be, oh, suck it up. I've gone through this, it's way worse. Or at least you're not dealing with this. Or at least it's not as bad as this. Or chin up, it could be worse. Stuff like that. That, like, what I think some people call toxic positivity. I haven't found that mentality to ever be constructive or helpful. And I want, if you are going through something, maybe it's actually worse than what I'm going through right now. I want to give you the permission to not feel bad that someone else may be going through something worse. We're not in the pain or suffering Olympics here. I can go through what I'm going through. You can go through what you're going through, and 2 realities can be true. And that doesn't mean to say that I'm not grateful that it isn't worse. Was that a double negative? And did I just confuse everyone by saying that? I don't know. My brain is very fuzzy. I've lost a lot of sleep. And there are a lot of things that I do keep private in our life, and we've actually had some experiences in the last couple of weeks outside of this migraine thing that I'm going through that have also contributed to frustration and pain and stress. We've had little health issues for other members of our family come up. Everyone's fine, I am happy to say. Nothing emergent or scary or bad, just frustrating, painful, time-consuming. Weston, bless his heart, he has just been the absolute rock of this family for the past couple of weeks. I mean, for years, forever. But he has stepped up in such an incredible way. Especially in the past couple of weeks. And it has been a challenge for our whole family, a challenge for me. I'm getting through it one day at a time. I don't think right now in this moment I'm able to verbalize what the plan is moving forward, because I actually have yet to have more follow-up appointments and formulate my own thoughts and feelings about where I'm at and what I'm dealing with. I'm hopeful by the end of this video, though, to be able to kind of give you some thoughts, but that's what I can share right now in this moment, just kind of what happened, and it was pretty bad. I think I'm gonna work on my kitchen now. I think I need to do a bit of tidying up in there. Honestly, staying on top of just little daily things has helped so much in moments where I am feeling fine. Honestly, even in moments where it's like my head is throbbing and I'm still dealing with this headache from 2 weeks ago, but I can get these 4 dishes into the dishwasher. And you know what? On the days that I can't, my kids have been so helpful. Weston has just picked up the slack. We are very much a partnership, very much a team with household stuff, because especially since we both work, but he has had to pick up the extra on top of what he typically does. And I'm so grateful. So right now I'm feeling relatively fine. The fact that I was even able to pick up the camera today, chat with you guys and work with you guys is actually an indication that today I am feeling a little bit better. And so I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna push it too hard because I know that can make it rebound even worse, but I think I can take care of my kitchen right now. So let's go do that. What's this hammer from? Is your tooth really loose? How's your tooth doing? This one is really good.
I thought you were getting more. I was like, oh, thank you.
We'll see. That's the answer I can give you right now. I'm not gonna promise something because then I would be going back on my word.
Powerful.
No, we're gonna keep the TV off. Green time over screen time.
What?
Were you not there when I was talking to the boys about 1,000 hours outside?
I was.
Yeah, that's I think what the little motto is, green time over screen time. In fact, I actually think that book showed up. Let me, just a second. The boys were reading a book store magazine, and this caught their attention. 1,000 hours outside. I have followed this Instagram page for years now. I've never taken up the challenge for my own kids, my own family, but with them being that interested in it, we may just challenge ourselves this year. And I think summertime is such a great time to start. So I got the book. This was one that was suggested next to it on Amazon. There's no such thing as bad weather. A Scandinavian mom's secrets for raising healthy, resilient, and confident kids. Are you healthy, resilient, and confident?
Yes.
Well then, we don't even need this book. Just kidding. There's always stuff we can learn. This is a really cool book. Lots of pictures. Do you want to see it? It just came from Amazon. 1,000 hours outside.
I didn't even actually buy it.
But you were.
I just mentioned it.
I know you did. And you know what? I thought if you were interested in it, and I've been interested in it for a while, it was a good time to buy the book and see what it has to offer. There's really cool pictures in it. I'm gonna set the vacuum mop to go in the kitchen here and we can look at this book.
Whoa!
Look at that. Look at all of these ideas of stuff we can do outside to bank up our hours outside. Let's see, which season are we in right now?
Christmas.
No, like us right now. What season are we in?
Spring.
Yeah, so maybe we should turn to the spring. Spring! Oh, the barnyard is easy. Thank you. Calendar of firsts.
What you can find outside.
It's telling you things that you can do outside.
Like what?
Like you can create a flower mandala.
What's a flower mandala?
Mandalas are circular designs that radiate symmetrically out of a central point. In nature, they can be seen in inside activities outside. Remember how you were doing KiwiCo earlier? And I said, hey, we might as well do this outside and get some fresh air. Daisy or dandelion chains. It's pretty cool.
I know why they're called dandelions.
Why?
They look like a lion's mane.
Yes, they do.
I'll believe in what my eyes can't see, and I will trust you, Lord. I will trust you, Lord. I will make a sacrifice of praise and say that you are good. Yeah, you are good. I'll believe in what my eyes can't see, and I will trust you, Lord. I will trust you, Lord. I will make a sacrifice of praise and say that you are good. Yeah, you are good.
Another sunny day, another year older. It was actually my birthday yesterday, and we had just a wonderful weekend. These lilacs are in full bloom. In fact, they're already starting to die off a little bit, so I'm just kind of doing some deadheading here of the ones that I just snipped from our tree in the front yard before I get it into this vase. And I've been able over the past few days to sort of formulate what I want to leave you with and what I want to share. And I think like I could sit here and share the roadmap or the plan that I've worked out with doctors for how I'm going to seek treatment and how we're going to get to the bottom of, you know, the physical aspect of this health issue that I'm going through with my migraines. But honestly, I think I just want to share what I deem the most important part of this whole situation, and that is the mental health aspect. And I want to be an encouragement to you. I mean, if you hear nothing else in this video, mental health is just as, if not more important than physical health. And this is an aspect of healing that I have actually neglected in previous bouts of chronic illness. And I think, I don't know, I feel like I'm finally at a stage in my life. It kind of feels like it was back when I turned 30. I'm 32 now, as of yesterday. And for some reason, 30 was just kind of turning a corner into like that, oh, I can actually start reaping the benefits of becoming older and wiser. Not that I'm like this sage or anything, but there is something to be said for where I am at maturity-wise from who I was 20 years ago dealing with these migraines as a kid. Is it harder to deal with this situation as an adult with 3 children, a full-time job, and a home to run? Yeah, absolutely. Is my psyche and my brain and my wisdom developed more than it was when I was a child? Absolutely. And that's just something that I keep reminding myself. It's what friends and family have reminded me, because I think the fear And I haven't talked about this much on my channel because I really try to protect my own children and keep things in their life very private. I've sort of felt the need to kind of protect my childhood self. But I think it's totally relevant in this situation to mention that as a kid, as a preteen and young teen, I dealt with obsessive compulsive disorder. And no, I'm not talking about I needed my bedroom to be tidy and I lined up all of my, books in alphabetical order. That's how the media and, influencers portray OCD, and they call it OCD. No, this was like on a clinical level, intrusive thoughts, compulsive actions and behaviors and thoughts and patterns that I would get into that I firmly believe, and I've had professionals confirm this, that it was brought upon, like catalyzed by my experience with the migraines that I would have. It got so bad that I would, in my effort to control when I would get a migraine, which we have discovered, and it seems to be the same here in this bout of it, that it is completely not within my control. I never feel it coming on. There's never any signs or symptoms to sort of say, hey, within the next few hours or day, you're gonna get a migraine. It literally hits out of nowhere. And so the anxiety of the situation, when I was a kid, knowing that at any point I could get a migraine, I sort of made these little rules for myself. And it sounds silly, but if you're someone who has dealt with OCD, then you'll recognize that, like, I would see don't step on the crack or you'll get a migraine. Don't eat that or you'll get a migraine, even when the thing wasn't actually related in a dietary way to being a trigger for a migraine. Or if you don't turn the light switch on and off 3 times before you go to bed, you're gonna get a migraine the next day. Like, it was, truly like on a clinical level, obsessive compulsive disorder. And it was really, really, really tough. And that's actually one of the things that I've been scared of. I don't deal with that anymore. I'm not saying, please hear me, I am not saying that OCD is something to be matured out of. It is a mental health issue that does not discriminate against any walk of life or is only for people who need to mature. I'm not saying that at all. But where I believe those tendencies started was in a place where my mental health was already in a state that was vulnerable as a preteen and as a kid, and I didn't have the life experience to see or recognize warning signs or to even seek out the help that I needed because I was actually really embarrassed of it. Thank goodness for amazing doctors and an amazing set of parents. I'm so grateful. I'm clinging to the Lord, and I'm so grateful for what I have and the resources available to me and what I'm able to do to step out and get to the bottom of this and to trust in the process and to look forward to the growth physically and mentally, emotionally, spiritually that I'm going to have in this season of seeking answers and seeking help. Isn't this bouquet just gorgeous? I love this time of the year so much. These smell so good. I think I need a couple more blooms in here, so I'm gonna go out and clip some more when I do some gardening later on. But I just had to get those into water right now and share my heart with you and to share some thoughts. I think one of the biggest ways that I can protect and support my mental health as someone who lives part of her life online with sharing content and having a YouTube channel and all of that is to humbly and gently ask you to not share suggestions for what you think may help me in this situation. I truly want this to come across in the way that I am intending it. My heart is so grateful for everyone who is so caring. And I know that suggestions and, oh, have you tried this or have you tried that? Or my aunt went through the same thing and this is what worked for her. I know those come from a wonderful, pure place and everyone means really well. But the distraction and the noise of hundreds and thousands of those comments coming in can really actually take a toll on my mental health. I'm very confident that my team of doctors, which I'm taking a very collective approach to getting to the bottom of what's going on. I'm seeing all sorts of different types of doctors with different philosophies and gaining a lot of balance in the perspective and in the treatment that I'm going to get. I think I want to go through this more behind the scenes, and when it is important to me to give an update or to share things and how I'm going, or to even share that I'm going through stuff so that if you know I'm absent for a little, it's because I'm going through, what it is that I'm going through. I'll keep you abreast without diving into too much of the private details of the situation, just again, for my mental health. And I have learned that mental health is so important to physical health. And if I'm trying to heal my physical health in this season, then mental health right now is paramount. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, giving me a space where I can chat and share my heart, share what's been going on lately. Here's to the next year of my life. May it be full of healing all around. I pray for the same for you all as well. Thank you so much for spending a little part of your day here with me on my channel, and I'll catch you later.